talk about his trilogy, and today we're going to talk about The Butterfly and the Beasts. How are you doing? And your energy is our destiny. I'm excited to talk to you, Dr. James. And how in the world do you, as a doctor, do you have time to write books?
Well, creativity drives positive emotions. And so I'm very creative in many different ways. And I'm a professor emeritus at the University of Minnesota. I love helping others, so I've written over 150 articles and grants and academic books, but they are kind of boring for most people. So I decided I would write something that would be potentially applicable or at least engaging by the general public. So
All
I
right.
wrote this trilogy.
All right. So, what inspired you to write The Butterfly and the Beasts? Your energy is our destiny. And was there a specific moment or experience that sparked the idea?
Well, I suppose after 35 years in academics, writing grants and papers are a little bit more boring. What sparked the idea is I wanted to do something that was more interesting for me to write, but also potentially for the public to read. And so I really love to help people. And so my inspiration is how can I help people? How can I help my patients? I mean, I've had patients who are 5 years old and 102 years old with chronic headaches and neck pain and facial pain. I love helping them. If I could spread that knowledge to the general population around the world, it just makes me feel good, happy,
Okay. So the
just like you
title,
do.
absolutely. The title is powerful and symbolic. What does your energy is our destiny really mean to you? And how does it connect to the story?
Well, the name of the book is called The Butterfly and the Beast, and the butterfly effect is interesting. It just means that we all manifest either positive or negative energy. And you know all about negative and positive energy. You have wonderful positive energy and it spreads throughout the world, and you know that. So you have this ripple effect, this butterfly effect it is basically a physics theory that shows that if you flap the wings of a butterfly in Brazil, could it potentially have an impact in causing climate change up in North America or something like that? So the butterfly effect just means that what you do every day, your energy, either positive or negative, has a ripple effect and influences people and the world around us. And we need to pay attention to that. And so this story is about people who are basically, they have their issues, their personal issues, but when they learn about this knowledge about the seven realms and how you can generate positive energy fairly easy with your daily activities, that's kind of that's a theme behind the book. That's what's sort of symbolic and kind of powerful. Spreading positive energy. How do
See,
we do?
absolutely. And looking at your background and what you teach, does it fit? Or is this something else that makes you successful as a professor?
Well, what I do, what I've developed, and what I've had grants from the National Institutes of Health about is developing a prevention program. And the prevention program basically has the same concepts that are in the novels. It's understanding your whole self in all of the seven realms. You have your mind, body, spirit, your lifestyle, your social life, and your environment and your emotions, and all of these play a role in your life, and it generates either positive energy or negative energy. Like if you're anxious or depressed or angry all the time, that's negative energy. And there's things you can do, like creativity, for instance, that will generate positive emotions by doing more creative things. That's why people who are struggling with emotional difficulties like to do music, like to do entertainment, like to do writing and things like that. And so it so what I've done is develop that knowledge, which based on research And I've developed a prevention program. It's on a line. It's called preventionprogram.com. And that same knowledge that is in there to teach others about preventing chronic pain, illness, depression, mental health problems, addiction is what is in the novels. And it's blended through this romantic thriller novel to,
Yeah.
basically teach people.
See, it's interesting how we connected. I'm sure after you got to watch or listen to some of my podcasts, you see that I do believe exactly what you believe in the way I
Right.
live. And I think you see it from my body language, but I'm not used to professors of universities to have this mindset, right? You're able to intertwine healthcare and mental health in so many ways, and and also the research. So it's just intriguing for the way you look at things. Was it challenging to teach the way you teach and for your colleagues to adopt some of your research or be willing to have you as a professor?
Yeah, yeah. No, as a professor, I kind of started the pain management field to some extent a long time ago. I won't say how long ago. And I found that what was happening was people were just prescribing opioids and drugs and doing surgeries, and it didn't seem to help as much as if you just taught people about how to reduce the factors that are causing the pain,
Yeah.
lifestyle factors like posture and repetitive strain and emotional difficulties, or diet, or not sleeping well, or all stressed out and clenching your teeth or tensing your muscles. All of these things cause chronic pain. And when you teach someone how to relax, how to calm yourself, I have a YouTube channel called the Pain Prevention Program, where you can go on and it has some videos called Calming Kate, which uses relaxation meditations to teach people how to relax their muscles and joints and feel comfortable. So the translation of the science and research that I've done for many, many years into real life uh, sort of practical help for patients is what I do. And so I love seeing patients. I love working with patients, but I also like to bring that creativity and into their world. And that's kind of one reason I decided to write the book, is because I think it's going to be more engaging, the books, than my scientific articles.
No,
uh,
no doubt. But I also think that the way you're talking about this in pain, and I could talk about pain management all the time. People don't understand if you're stressed,
you have
you're going to be in
pain,
pain.
right?
If you're aggravated, you're going to have more pain. If you're not happy with life, you're going to have more pain. It's going to like an example as a former professional wrestler, Dr. James.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. As a former professional wrestler, I don't have a lot of the chronic pain that other athletes have. I did retire earlier, but ultimately, if you are happy with life, you're going to be less likely to feel the other pain. Because once we start to antagonize that we're in pain, we're going to get more pain. If we focus more on the pain, we're going to be in it. People
Yeah,
can't help but have chronic pain. Don't get me wrong. But if you put your focus and attention in that instead of the activity, you're more likely, and I can walk around with certain pain sometimes and not even know it because I'm so focused on
right.
now.
Yeah, that's very important. Mindfulness, stress is a stress management. In other words, focus on the present time. Learn from the past, kind of prepare for the future, but really be in your present moment right now. And that's really important. There are certain basic things that we all need to learn in our seven realms. And what they're going to do if it spreads, if this energy, positive energy spreads around the world, it's going to solve many of the, what I call in the books, the beasts, the butterfly and the beasts. The beasts are these global crises that are going on, like pandemics and chronic pain and addiction, or depression, anxiety, anger, and our emotions. and poverty, and unhealthy lifestyles and our behavior pattern lifestyles, and feeling kind of hopeless and despair to some extent. I mean, dishonesty, corruption, scams. I mean, these are things that are happening throughout the world right now, and we have to solve them. And the only way to solve them is on an individual basis by developing positive energy in each of the 7 realms that we have. And so that's kind of what I teach in academics. That's what I did research on. And now I've read it into novels and books
All
that
right.
are,
So let's talk about the book brings together characters from different walks of life. Why was it important for you to intertwine multiple protagonists in this story?
well, because it appeals to more people, so you can relate to Ryan Laughlin to some extent. He's a young physician whose wife died of breast cancer. He's lonely, he's sad, he felt like he failed her, and he's kind of depressed about it. And he learns about this 7 realms energy and how to maintain positive energy in a research that's going on in the middle of Italy at the Terme, which is an old Roman spa that she's doing this research in. And in the second book, he, with synchronicity, interestingly enough, is coming back from this research in the Terme, and he's so excited about it. And he's on a plane going into New York City, and of course, a hurricane, environmental decline, and all these superstorms are occurring around the world. And the hurricane caused all these birds to fly up. And you remember that plane crash, outside of New York City
Yeah.
at one point? They landed on the
Yeah.
river.
Yeah.
Same thing happened in this novel here.
Oh,
And then, but at the same time, this homeless teenager, her name is Shai Sonia from northern Minnesota, homeless because she lost both parents. Parents passed away. She didn't know what to do. She was living with a uncle who was very controlling and everything, and she just decided she was going to leave. And she ended up in New York City with as an escort, but this billionaire, Manfred Kolb, falls in love with her. And so he wants to be with her and everything like that, but he's really abusive. So in the middle of the hurricane, she escapes out of his apartment into the streets of New York City. At the same time, Ryan Laughlin got off a plane that crashed, in the bay in New York City, and they meet synchronicity on a taxi going to the Newark airport. And so that's another character, Shai Sonia, 18-year-old girl who is a secret from the billionaire. And I won't tell you what it is. And then at the same time, one of colleagues of Ryan Laughlin, Dr. Julia Stone, was giving a lecture in New York City. And this terrorist shows up with a machine gun at the back of the room.
oh my goodness.
And instead of, people called the police, but they weren't there. And they're just, everybody in the lecture hall is freaked out. 150 people are there. And what she does is use empathy and care and affection to talk him out of what he
Oh my
was
gosh.
planning on doing. So
All
all
right.
these 3 characters come together throughout this book. And then one of the main characters, Vanessa Venetri, is the researcher in Italy. She organizes a congress called the Butterfly and the Beast Congress of the world leaders to get together to solve these problems, these world crises. And of course, and both Ryan Laughlin goes there because he falls in love with this Italian researcher. He's lonely. And so all of these characters come together in Bologna, Italy, at this Congress. And who shows up? A terrorist.
Yeah.
And I won't tell you what
You
happens.
don't want to, definitely don't want to give this,
I don't want
you
to
don't
give
want
it.
to give this up. No, no, but this is, I mean, I could just talk about what you teach and I'm just into it, absolutely into it because I truly, but I did not know that this met, uh, the academic world. But I'm going to continue this with the book. But if I was interviewing you another time, all I'd want to talk about is your principles and what I would want to learn and want to know this because as we know about some people say this is woo woo. It's not. There is true belief in the brain controls so much and how we interact and how we think can create things. And people don't understand because of our actions. It's not because we're something is happening because our brain thought it. No, if our brain thinks it and we believe it, it's going to happen. It's not. And the most successful people in the world have positive attitudes in something they do. They might not have a great life everywhere, but like that have been the greatest athletes in the world or the greatest that there's something about them that they have in their belief system and their positivity that they're going to be there.
It's so
I'm
true.
sure.
I
I
mean, look at
mean,
these Olympic athletes, how
uh,
amazing they were in Italy. Um, you
yeah.
know, where the focus of this book is, The Butterfly and the Beast, was in Italy, just south of where the
Oh,
Winter
really?
Olympics occurred.
Yeah, that was very good coverage of the Olympics this year. There's a
Oh,
strong sense of global crisis and urgency in the novel. Do you see parallels between your fictional world and what's happening in the real world today?
well, and you know it also that, yeah, there are a lot of global crises, and I've already mentioned them, some of the crises that are occurring, and we need to change them. So, yes, that's one of the reasons that I wrote the novel was to make people realize not just acknowledging the fact that these are global crises going on, problems that we have around the world that are both local, regional, as well as international. But it's also the fact that we have control. You have control. Your energy is our destiny.
Yes.
And your energy is also your power. So, and your energy that you have in each of the areas of your seven realms, mind, bodies, spirit, lifestyle, emotions, the social life we have, the physical environment around you that we create and you can change every one of those to shift from negative energy to positive energy with some simple behavioral changes. And, it's
And in your
parts of the
books, do you
brain.
say in your series, do you kind of give some of those ideas so people can read them through the characters and you
Oh,
start
yes,
seeing that
yes.
development? That's
Yeah.
huge because
In
what
the
that does, Dr. James, is people are more likely to see this. I could see some of this on the screen at one point in time, Dr. James, because what it does is you see, or in a series or something, you can see these characters living it out and saying, oh, I got to practice this way. What am I doing? Because we have a lot of shows on TV and all of it is about chaos. It's about
Yeah,
the
right.
conflict, but the conflict never becomes a positive conflict, always becomes negative, negative. Maybe the hero wins, but still there's something going on. They want to show the human element that always we're flawed, but not just flawed, we always are in chaos. That's what all our television shows are, all of those things, right?
Yeah. We need to have happy endings, and this book, well,
Well, you don't bring it up. We'll know about it. All right. So the
anyways,
concept of synchronicity uh,
right.
plays a role in the narrative. Do you personally believe in fate and destiny? I think I know you do. Or do you think we create our own? Oh no, no, I don't know. I think do you think we create our own paths? You could say fate or destiny, but that's kind of writing it off. But all right, go ahead with the answer.
Well, there is fate and destiny to some extent, but it is completely controlled by what we do with our lives. From the young childhood all the way through our adulthood, we determine our destiny. Our energy is not only your destiny, but our destiny individually, and we have control. And so there, sometimes there's fate and destiny associated with it, but you don't see that. But there are certain synchronicity events that are occurring in each of our lives that we just don't pay attention to. But when we start paying attention to, we know, oh my gosh,
It's
that
huge.
is possible to have that happen without something behind it that occurs. And that's just basically your energy. And it does control your fate and destiny in the future. So we all need to just learn these basic sort of qualities that we can live with, positive energy. My patients, it's amazing how when I come in with positive energy in the room, how much they
Right.
completely
I already
get
felt it,
chronic
but
pain.
I do find a lot of people that once they get with me, they have that positive energy as well. If I'm able to exhibit, and the ones that aren't, I'm constantly positive, even if they're trying to bring me down. So I'm going to go with. We could talk about these characters. The book sounds intriguing. People need to read it, but one reason why they need to read it is to show the creativity of Dr. James. There are not many professors in universities that think like you think, correct?
Well, a lot of university professors are creative, but they're usually in a research academic way, in teaching. They don't do right.
I'm
They don't
more your
write out.
creativity of
Right.
this seven
Yeah.
realms,
Yes.
believing
Right.
that you can create what you create. There are not a lot of professors out there
No,
like
no,
you.
no.
No, they're not.
I, I'm what's called outside the box.
Very outside the box. And that's important
Right.
because we're always told, even by coaches, oh, you can't get to this point. Why? I want to. Oh, it's not how I did it, or it's not how so and so did it. Well, if I believe I can create it, I'll create it. And that goes back to what, so really what's intriguing, if people are going to see this interview say, wow, a university professor, medical, here talking about how our brains can create things through our thoughts and our actions. Something that absolutely is still so out of the box. What led that formation to take your academic knowledge, your medical knowledge, to finding this research and saying, this is what I want to teach?
Yeah. Well, it all starts at the basis of wanting to help people. And as a health provider, I was originally a dentist.
Oh,
Then I went to medical school training. And I saw so many patients with persistent pain problems when I was in professional school. And I said, we got to solve that. I want to help them. And so not only did I do research with the National Institutes of Health, but I then developed strategies for which to implement this as part of routine care. And I realized that how important each of these areas of our lives, or I call them the seven realms, are to our health and well-being. And so that whole drive to want to help people and solve their pain problem is kind of what drove me into the academic area, and then translating that into something that has more global impact, like novels, or maybe a movie of it. Who
yeah,
knows?
yeah, yeah. That's
I mean,
why.
how did you create what you've done? You're amazing, and the energy that you have, and
I'm just getting started. That's the point. And so I'm just getting started. I, and it's because I truly enjoy what I'm doing. That's
right.
it, period. Even the days that I have to do some work fulfillment for clients and being, roll my sleeves up and do responsibilities that some of my team have done before that I have to do. It's because everything I do, I love to do in my industry. And I'm also interested in learning. I've learned so much in so many industries. I want to help
Right.
other people and look at the whole holistic point of view, not the niche. I'm not niching. I'm looking at the full person and what they're doing and how they're promoting things and truly wanting to learn from them, not going through the motions in an interview where most people are sticking to the questions. Yes, I'm asking questions, but I really, in a lot of ways, could go a different route. But then I'd be like, oh my goodness. All right. So this last question is so important for readers who are just discovering your work. What do you hope they walk away after they finish your book? Because they got to pick up your book, they got to get the series, but they also got to learn about the seven realms. Trust me on this. I already can see, and it's very interesting. But go ahead.
Well, the seven realms, so the books are something that hopefully spread out to a large population to read. But what I want them to do is Dr. Ryan Laughlin implements what's called the prevention program within his clinic. And in the book, in these novels. And so that prevention program is actually real, and people will be able to go in, log in to there, and learn about, with 5 to 10 minute lessons about their whole life, their whole person. and how they can shift from negative to positive energy in every aspect of their lives. And I love using this knowledge to help my patients who have chronic pain. I've had patients, like I said, who are 6 years old to 102 years old, and they get better. It's such a satisfying thing. It's like when you interview somebody and they just feel so enthusiastic about it. It's like helping people. So the whole thing that I want people to discover within my work, which includes not just the novels, but also this preventionprogram.com, if they want to enroll in it and sign up for it. And it's not marketing something, it's just really telling people how to learn. I also have one of those massive open online courses on Coursera.org. It's called Preventing Chronic Pain, a Human Systems Approach. And it's about the seven realms and about the research behind each of these factors that drive chronic pain, illness, mental health, and other
Wow.
areas. So it's
It was really
free.
a pleasure meeting you, Dr. James. So all those places people can connect with you. Let's get your website. Best place people can go for all this is where.
Good question. I haven't integrated it all into, I have a james-fricton.com website, but I have the preventionprogram.com and I have this coursera.org. So I haven't integrated them all together. And so
All right.
you just have to search me
All right.
or whatever. But
Well,
pick up the book, read the book. You'll find them fascinating books. And I have a third one coming out called Warriors of the Seven Realms. And that should be out at the end by the end of the year, which is
all
similar.
right. Thanks again, Dr. James. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for
You're
your energy.
listening. Oh, you're welcome. You're listening and watching the Neil Haley Show. We'll be back in just a moment.